God he finally figured out the intro's too long.
I hate Paulson, but he likes to peg a man.
I'm a pegging man. I don't understand.
Yeah.
What does it matter?
Ew. That's what matters.
Doopy-doo.
Nope. We are not starting with that song. That is the wrong one. I am sorry. Let me forgive myself and you. Here we go.
I don't like this one. It feels like the dark night of my soul.
Yeah, that's why I do it. Wait a minute. Oi, get your oi in here.
Oi.
Aluminum Spork.
But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass. But I'm serious.
Yeah.
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
Yeah.
That's your president, people. That's your actual president. He likes
ass smacking. So football players like ass smacking.
Yeah, so I mean, he seemed a little excited about it though. It was very hey everybody, welcome to excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Welcome to Aluminum Spork. My name is Scott, and this is Aluminum Spork. Anyways, everybody, welcome to Aluminum Spork. It is Saturday night. We're actually doing one. We are going to be talking about UAPs. We're going to be talking about presidents. We're going to be talking about Walden, because you can't have a show without Walden. You know, he's please get me the.
Oh,
he's way past that now, though. He is.
I don't know who Walden is. All right.
Walden.
He's a wizard.
Where's Walden?
I'm not that fat. I'm not that short.
Hey, so we're starting. We're just letting people roll in, all 12 of you. Just keep rolling in, everybody. We used to get hundreds, and then they demonetize me. And you're the ones that care. You're the ones that are here, and I love you for it. So let us know who you are in the chat. Why aren't you here, Grant Gregory? 29 months as a member. We have memberships. He says, hey, did you know you can now gift free memberships? So be generous and gift the chat some love, some man love, deep man love. I can gift. I can
ass smacking, man.
I can gift it free. I don't know if you know anything. I don't get paid by YouTube much anymore. So when I do get there, I will give it away free, because I give my people so much in advance, and they get
you give it free. You give it free, Scott.
I give it free, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, Walton's here. How are you, Walton?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. Good to see you all in the chat. Hell, you guys gonna have fun tonight. But I didn't know we were gonna start with ass smacking, but that's where we started.
That's our president. Okay. Does anybody
you see him?
Not realize he's still our acting president? He's still here. Hey, hold on.
No. Thank you, Jane.
Jane just made Parrothead a member again. Yeah, Parrothead.
Did you see him wandering on the tarmac? There was a video of him he just got off the plane and he just was wandering around like
he's still. Oh, bye, buddy. He's having some phone issues. Yeah, he's still our president, until like January. But he wasn't good enough to run for president, and he's our president.
Hey, we're the ones that are garbage, remember?
Yeah, that's true. We are garbage. But you know what he'll do? He's gonna.
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We also have Immortal Coil while he's here. What's up, man?
Perfect time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just like to say hello from the throat of savage spirituality. You guys need to recognize that adults are talking, so just tuck your children away.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yes,
sir.
protect them from.
Make sure you guys, all the men out there, tuck. Well,
if you're a white guy for Harris.
yeah, that's true. You're breaking up, buddy. We can barely hear you, Immortal Coil. But we also have Bad Takes Bojans here. How are you, Bad Takes? You got a mouthful of anything?
No, I was good. I swallowed right in time as soon as I heard that pause. But yeah, I'm having a great Chicago hot dog and great fries. All the bad things that I shouldn't have. I'm so hungry from working all day today that my hands, I had the low blood sugar, your hands are shaking as you pick up the fries kind of thing. So yeah. So if I'm rambling, that's why.
Rambling man. Yeah, this should be live on Rumble right now too, sir. And if YouTube kicks us, they kick us. So let me make sure you guys know we're on Rumble and we're on a Twitter space right now. For all you crazy kids out there. But yes, we are live on Rumble. So make sure you are subscribed to Rumble. I still haven't hit 500 people. I'm at 430 again. It's like everything's going backwards. It's really, really motivating. Yeah, guys. So what I swallowed.
Thank you, Soul Assassin.
Yes. She did say that. Please.
I'm resisting. I'm the most immature person up here. I was resisting that. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? I'm really sorry. I said, but I think swallowing is the only option. I've just never thought it was very lighty like to spit. So
awesome.
Thank you, Tina. Mr. Bojan is my spirit animal. I just want to say that. Thank you. Thank for him. Thank you.
He raises his glass to you.
Sir, we raise our glass to you. Give my wife a call. No, she's good. She's good. I didn't mean, did I say anything? We need term limits for Congress yesterday. I never used to agree on that. I do now. I think 4 terms for a congressman. Because Congress, you have to be able to get things going. You have to have some, there has to be some that. What I don't want to see is, all right, make it 2 terms, but make them long terms. I don't want them getting in and then right away, all they're doing is campaigning for their next, I want you to get some work done, a 6-year term.
So maybe have, 2 terms for senators and 4 terms for congressmen if you're going to leave it at 2 years.
Yep.
It's 2 years, right? Or 3? I can't remember.
Senators are
6.
No, I thought they're 4.
I
think they should be 6. Jane,
you're all patriots.
Yes, Jane will help us because we've obviously failed our constitution.
I do believe it is 6.
Yeah,
I do believe it is 6.
Too.
And I like the idea of there being limited terms because we are seeing too many people that are in office for way too long. And I'm sorry, you disconnect at that level socially. You disconnect from people. And I think that there is this culture that is developed, and I think it's very apparent in our politics, of just F the poor, just backing each other's ability to make backdoor deals to get money from, to get soft money for campaigns. There's too much corruption in our government that could be curtailed if we did not allow them to just systemically exist for most of their lives. In this system, you need fresh blood. You need fresh ideas. You need to be able to shake something up, other than an election that to scare, literally have to scare these politicians into working for we the people. And I don't think there's enough of that going on right now.
Right. Did anybody just see what he wrote there? He literally is saying YouTube is telling him to mute me. Yeah, what do you mean by that, Brian? Please give us a little more because you said it twice, and I don't doubt it.
Looking it up.
We are the number one show at
He's warning you.
7:45. Excuse me, Tina. Men are speaking.
I'm sorry.
We are the number one show at 7:45 on Saturdays for men ages 55 to 55 and a half for 2 minutes. That up because that might not.
How dare you tell a woman that is committed to swallowing to shut up? That's effed up.
Well,
I mean, are you straight?
I know my place. If Matt was here, it'd be even worse. I'd be like locked in the closet.
Yeah,
You
you did sound like a beta just now. You sounded like a beta.
What?
Oh, so don't get her mad. She might not do it.
Excuse
again.
me?
Yeah, you
I'm
sounded
for
like that.
equality. Okay,
You are. You are.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
am.
are. You like balls or walls? What is his
What?
name?
What?
Tim Balls.
No, no.
You know the tampon guy. No. Okay.
No. I am a straight, good, decent, moral pagan man. That's what I am.
Right. Jane said it right there. The number one show at 7:45 on Saturdays for men from 55 to 55 and a half for 2 minutes. Amen, everybody. Amen. Pop-ups saying you're talking about topics they disagree with, basically politics. Are you serious?
Wow.
We're talking about aliens.
We started with politics. And
Okay,
ass
we might
smacking.
have. We might have. Okay.
But we didn't even say anything bad. We just suggested term limits, not,
Yeah, we didn't talk about he's breathing on people.
You're a Nazi. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who's a Nazi?
Well, you're white, right? So yes.
Allegedly.
I'm so sick of that term, though. I'm so sick of people calling somebody hister and a Yahtzee for the simple fact that you really are degrading and belittling what the Jewish people and minority groups in Germany went through when he killed 14 million of them.
I would just like to mention, Scotty, I understand why you're censoring yourself. I say those names and talk about that stuff.
Yeah, but you're not getting popped up because you know why? I'm that special with YouTube. They already got me once. I'm not letting him get me again.
They got me once too.
I'm not surprised that Walton always mentions Hister. What a shock.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that.
Would. He completely would.
What?
He puts wood in his.
Wait, I'm like 3 subjects back. What are you talking about me? What?
We're talking about term limits. So yeah. What's up, Mr. Grant Gregory?
Oh, not much. Just thought I'd jump on for a little bit. Can't really stay long, but yeah, just thought it'd be good to jump in, say my 2 cents worth, and yeah. Also, it's 4 years.
It is for.
Go back in the chat. Look what Jane said. Said.
No, it's 4 years for president, 6 for senators, 2 for congressmen, as in representatives.
Thank you.
Is that true?
Thank you, Chewy.
I thought it was 4, 4, 6, but I might be wrong. I do know that senators are a little bit longer. They should be, but they should only get 2 terms. And congressmen should be 4 years because congressmen are always, the House is always running again, and they're getting little done unless they have a really wide majority. They're getting nothing done. But we're seeing more and more lately that the House will pass something bipartisan and then the Senate just crushes it. So yay. I just want things to get done that are going to help, I don't know, the American people. No offense to anybody outside of our country.
You're asking for too much, Scotty. You're asking for too much.
I know these other countries need help, but guess what? We need help. It's like, it's like the family that the mom does all this charity work, but her house is falling apart. Her daughter's a whore. The son's a drug addict. The husband's cheating on her. But yet she's doing.
We know who your president is.
I'm not talking about my house.
No, I know where Scott, are you going with that? Like when I'm coaching people in recovery from abuse, a lot of people that go through those situations are kind-hearted, compassionate, giving. And I tell them that you've got to be strong yourself. You cannot help others unless you are strong, unless you are leading by example. That's how you truly help other people. And we have a fractured system that has been thoroughly convoluted over the last 15 years alone. It was amazing when you were sharing that clip from CNN calling out Kamal, like, oh my God,
Oh, yeah.
it's actually so late.
We're going to share that again. I'm glad you said it. So let me find that one more time while you talk. And
because it gets crazy to when you're at the point where I think we all know at this point that the legacy media all has a slant. If they're not really reporting the news, they're reporting the smear, the slant, the propaganda. And so for someone who we all know is the cheerleader of the Democratic Party to come out and just say, hey, she was talking one way to this group, one way to this group, and just show that those types of shenanigans, I think is more telling as to the way that the election is headed in the country and as far as what they see in polling than anything else.
Well, it's also the way that I think the legacy media is realizing they're going to make more money with Trump in there. They're not trying to be, open and honest because they are leaning one way or the other, and they're all leaning money. They're all leaning green. But this is something I brought up on Walton's stream just before that. I thought this was kind of funny. So take a listen out there. And we will talk about UFOs.
Mixed messages. A K-file investigation this hour finds Kamala Harris is targeting crucial battleground voters with vastly different messages on Gaza and Israel. This ad is running in Michigan, which has the largest Arab population in America.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
All right, well, it's a very different story for an ad in Pennsylvania targeting Jewish voters.
Let me be clear. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7.
Different message. Andrew Kaczynski is out front now. So, Andrew, those obviously do sound starkly different, to say the least. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, that's right. And this really illustrates the sort of fine line that the Harris campaign is trying to walk here in the closing weeks, closing days of this campaign on the issue of Israel. Here you have two entirely different constituencies, and they are getting two entirely different messages. There are often times these constituencies have very opposing views on this. If you are a Jewish person in Pennsylvania, you saw that ad that you're getting. You are getting that ad that talks about how strong she is in Israel. If you're a Muslim voter in Michigan, you are getting that ad on Facebook that's talking about how she won't be silent on the issue of Gaza. Now,
and I mean, it's pretty sad. But they all do it. They all say something leaning towards the group of people they're talking about. I think Jarvis Abernathy said it right on your show. That limey guy you have on. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Jarvis Afay." He said, you can take both those ads and actually make a cohesive statement saying what happened on October 7th, right? Was disgusting terror attack, but on the flip side, Israel needs to come to terms with that they have pretty much defeated them, and now it is time to rebuild. Now it is time to humanitarian aid getting into Gaza. There are still American people being held by Palestine. Their leaders are somewhere else. All you're doing is hitting people that have just learned to hate Israel. And I bet you if you stop bombing them for a little bit and try to work things out, it may never be perfect, but you really got to work on what's going on over there. There's not one side or the other that's evil, pure evil and pure good. Right. But Israel does have a right to go MF off on people that try to hurt them. But there's now at a point where it's like, you guys won. You won. You made fucking oceanfront property. You got it. So just back off a little bit and figure this shit out and stop spending our money. Because that's what I'm really about.
If Mexico had did what Hamas did to America, there wouldn't be a Mexico. Let's get that clear.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Say that again.
If Mexico attacked the United States the same way Hamas did with Israel, there wouldn't be a Mexico right now.
Didn't they? And didn't Teddy Roosevelt kick their ass?
No, I mean, and I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but what has he done lately?
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Grant Gregory, like in the overall scheme of things. But to be fair, I mean, there's a lot more nuance that could be going into that conversation with as far as all the gangs that are allowed to come over here, the illegals that come over here, the trafficking. We are letting that happen by our politicians. We are letting the destruction of suburban areas, abductions, trafficking, things that I don't know how far I can go into on your channel, Scott, but that level of social destruction is being allowed. When it comes to like the cycle of fighting over there, it comes down to who's going to stop. And even if you have a side that decides to stop, it's not going to be a hard stop. You're going to deal with the generational trauma that is being created consistently in a war-torn area.
It's been happening since the creation of that state.
Since the creation of that state, right? This is generational trauma you're dealing with, and it comes down to like, what's the war machine? The industrial complex. Do they want it to stop? The politicians, who's making money off this? Who at this point is so inundated either by victor or victim into creating havoc, causing pain, killing others that would even let it stop? And I'm talking in both sides. It's a horrible issue because there are innocents that are being born on both sides that grow up in an era of, we hate these people because, oh, look, here's the proof they just killed your friend down the street, or that is the true crime, in my opinion.
Yeah, because we're far from the creation of Israel that was taking Europeans and putting them in this Arab area.
That was owned by Palestine.
That was owned already. Yeah, exactly. And I understand, like if they found people that were local Jews and decided to help them create their state, maybe that's different. But it was almost like, sorry for what Germany did. Let's build this state. And they didn't think of the fallout. They wanted a foothold in the Middle East. And that's what they created. And the creation came with like a very, like, I forgot the name of the Hasidic Jews that were the beginning of the Israel state, but those guys were they could be considered terrorists on their own right. So like no one on either side is not to blame. They're all to blame.
No, they're all to blame at this point.
The UN, like including us.
Absolutely,
because spending my money.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Don't worry about it. This is an issue that has been going on since World War I, since the dividing up of different territories that cut through tribal lines from, Western powers. Let's be real. The Western powers that came to an area that didn't understand and just cut and carved this whole area up. That's why that has been the genesis of many of the wars that we have seen from the old Ottoman Empire for the last century plus. And it's the locals who go through the hell. They go through the havoc, and also the campaigns of misunderstanding. They're different cultures. They're human beings, but they have different culture. And trying to look at how they have seen things traditionally and what they have gone through from the lens of people who have different cultures, you can't really appreciate what the true damage that has been caused between these different peoples, tribes, sects that have existed for thousands of years.
Yeah.
It comes down, in my opinion, to wealthy people wanting to keep making money. It comes down to psychopaths that get into positions of power that love creating damage. It comes down to people who create scenarios amongst others in order to create conflict for their own means, whether that be monetary or social. And the real people that are being hurt are these civilians, man, the moms and dads, families, people that are just trying to children.
Look at Ukraine. How many children? How many teenagers? How many multi-generations gone from that country?
Right.
Why? Because there's $11 trillion of rare earth material under Ukraine. That's the real reason. That's the real reason.
It could, that is probably part of it, but you're also looking at a UN that made promises to a dissolved USSR that they would not encroach beyond a certain point and consistently have.
Not a UN. Every president since Bill Clinton has promised Putin that we wouldn't go that far. And we kept taking those steps, and he finally put a line in the sand with Ukraine. And I'm not saying, you know, she was the one that announced they want Ukraine to be part of
NATO.
Yeah,
You know,
thank you.
a lot of this came from an area of the Ukraine. Okay, true, Russia did want to get their access to the Mediterranean in that area, but you also had a heavily Russian-speaking cultural area that wanted to defect. What, 12 years ago, 13 years ago,
dude?
You use things like that, but if they use instances like that in order to create.
They elected a president in Ukraine, and a 3-lettered department, we'll just say, ousted him and put in Zelensky, who went on the idea of peace, who is now closing down churches, now closing down opposition groups, newspapers.
Well, dude, he was doing that. He was doing that during the campaign. That was the whole thing. The people who had the number one newspaper and television station in there, the moment that Zelensky went in power, they are still locked up without trial.
But he played the piano with his dick. So
with his penis, yeah. He's a comedian.
Awesome. And Jane, that comment that Brian was talking about that she said, I do remember a video. But I don't know if it was her explicitly saying that about Israel, or if it was when the squad was going off about that stuff. But she was part of that until she got picked for VP, and then she just stopped all talk about Israel in that way. So I do remember something to that effect, but I can't promise that's exactly what she said. We'll come back to stuff like this, but it is Aluminum Spork, so we should probably talk about that video you sent me, because I found it to be intoxicating. So let me share this.
Yeah, thank you for Soulsass for bringing it up and reminding me, because I sent it to you a while ago.
Dude, I was shocked because I don't remember this one. Okay. And this was in between 07 and 09. This happened. This is in Turkey. And you will hear that the government says it's authentic, that the majority of people that have checked the film have said it was not CGI. There was nothing done to it. So take a listen to this. This is Kumburger's Turkey.
This is the video called Kumburger's video, which is a
Kumburger. My bad.
Thank you, Kumburger.
That you can see the occupants. It is 100% real, and I was there, and it was filmed.
The whole footage has been analyzed for more scientific work for 2.5 weeks, plane by plane, pixel by pixel, and this is 100% genuine footage.
In 2009, a Turkish man, Yalçın Yalman, recorded what he believed to be a UFO over the Sea of Marmara, capturing what he claimed were alien pilots in a saucer-shaped craft. Experts analyzed Yalçın's video and found no signs of CGI tampering, though some remain skeptical about the visibility of figures within the craft due to camera limitations. Aviation expert Tim McMillan suggested the possibility of an optical illusion involving distant fishing vessels. Though this theory does not fully explain the sighting, the Turkish government deemed the footage authentic, but experts concluded that while the object is a genuine UFO, more evidence is needed to confirm its extraterrestrial nature.
And then right in the front of the craft, there appeared to be 3 windows, viewing ports, whatever you want to call. And standing in these viewing ports, and I saw this, I looked through the camera myself, but unfortunately I didn't record that video.
Those are beings. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. Those are beings. 2 of them. Looks like grays to me.
If they're grays,
yeah, go ahead.
And if they're grays, I don't want them around me. I'm a racist.
Yeah, dude, those guys, they like to probe. It's not like a fun time either.
Nah.
No,
it's like a bunch of freaking invaders.
Yeah.
I want to know what camera he's using, because commercial grade cameras back in 2008 were nowhere near good enough quality to be able to film of at night time.
That's what I thought too, dude. And we might have to look into that, but from what this video is saying, and I've looked at other stories about this, the Turkish government even said it was official, that there was no shenanigans with the film. I don't know. We'll find.
standing in these viewing ports, and I saw this. I mean, I looked through the camera myself, but unfortunately, didn't record. That video went to university in Istanbul and went over extremely intense scrutiny by the Turkish government, and then the video was also sent to the UK and several other countries for analysis.
Okay.
Is it possible
Well, where's the full video?
Well, yeah, let Tina and I'll find the full video. Tina, go ahead.
Is it possible that the one or two sections where it shows what looks like aliens,
like that middle part?
Yeah, that middle part. Is it possible that's like just like pareidolia or whatever that's called, where
Well,
you're
that's what
looking at
some
stuff and it
people,
kind of looks like.
yeah, some people are believing that that we're seeing alien heads. I am sorry, those are freaking alien heads.
They look it.
Like,
They look like it.
you cannot tell me that view is in two eyes with a big melon head.
It
And
does to me.
Go ahead, Grant.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think it's all fake.
Yeah, you might have a valid point there, and you're wrong. I'll have it.
And Grant, I mean, Grant, you were talking about like what type of camera they could do in 2009. I mean, I think that like for the right price, there probably would be something.
Well, that's what I mean. I want to know is he a professional? Is he a professional like videographer?
Right. Well, it definitely didn't come off a cell phone, bro.
What's, I mean, to me, when I look at that, you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of miniatures.
Yes, and that's what I was thinking at first, but it's a 52-minute video, dude. Like,
we got time.
There was also witnesses that were not connected with this dude.
And no one remembers hearing a single thing about this. Seeing as though you've been looking into this stuff your entire life, and this is the clearest footage that's ever come out,
right.
And we've never heard of it until now.
I've never heard of it, but a lot of other people have been talking about it for years. I'm shocked I've never heard of it.
Well, I've never heard of it. I mean, when it comes to, and I understand we're Grant, I understand your skepticism, because we've seen some amazing advances in fake footage and AI generation, things like that, especially nowadays. So it's easier for me to look at something from the past 90s, maybe the 2000s, and think it's authentic than it is today.
This looks more real video than what we just watched. It almost looks like someone stabilized the other video. Because if you're watching this one, this looks more like a camera from 08.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the zoom power on that? If to get a clip of the cockpit,
mm-hmm.
You know, like what? That's got to be a hell of a camera. It's got to be
or it's
high
close.
Quality.
Like, how far away is it? You know, that's a good question.
Oh, that's a good question.
Why is Mr. Gregory asking so many questions? Reddit said it was true.
If he's fully zoomed in, we should be able to tell the size of it. Like if it's a 300mm lens and he's fully zoomed in and it's taking up the full width of that, you're looking at something that's probably about 150 to 200 meters wide.
Okay. Which I would think it's even bigger. Let me find. Oh, Reddit. Thanks, Jane. Good way of putting it. What we just watched was most likely the stabilized video. There's quite a few people out there that have stabilized the video. So let's see.
That's a moon.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I spoke out loud.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for knowing what that was.
I worshipped that. Okay.
Analyzing.
So the first thing that they would have done when they check it, because they've shown the moon, they would have checked to see what phase the moon was in at that time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if the moon was in a different phase, it would be automatically considered fake.
Right. Let's see. Let's see this article here. Even though it's on Reddit, doesn't mean these people are all crazy.
Not all. Mr. Grant Gregory, do you think that like UFOs or aliens don't exist like unilaterally, or are you just looking for something?
No, he's being smart. He's being the one. I have Grant on because I dive full in and say it's real. Grant is my
Balances
Scully.
out.
He is my Scully. He knows that I sometimes, I don't know, go a little far with my decision that this is true. You can't tell me any different. And we find out it was made, I don't know, in some dude's basement. Just so you
Well,
know.
if I'm Scully, then that means that I will replace you in season 8 after you get killed off.
That's so fucked up.
I mean, Grant, do you look good in a red wig? You know, like, I mean,
I don't look terrible.
Don't talk to him about this stuff, Grant.
I'll DM you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna and he means in your butt.
No.
Yeah. This has to do with the Turkey UFO. The objects were spotted over the sea near Turkey between 07 and 09, witnessed by local residents. One singularity of this case that the images were made with a camera that had an adapter for close up of 200 times optical, achieving a great amount of detail of the object. So right there, Grant, boom, 200. What do you say?
It's real.
It's real.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that. I mean, it just says 200 times optical. What's a millimeter of the lens?
Fucking fucked.
Just made sure you wanted to understand that, Grant.
Yeah, I just want to know what camera it is, because then you can get all the details out of it. If it's a 35 millimeter chip on the camera and you've got a 200 times optical lens, that means he's got a 600 to 700 millimeter lens on the camera. So if you've got a 600 millimeter lens, and you can get a size approximation from that. And also with those certain lenses, the way in which the iris folds in, and the way in which light hits it, each lens has its own unique shape. It's not light doesn't come through in a circular. I think it comes through as the pattern of the iris.
I see.
So the more details that you have, the more ways you can look at it to try and disprove it. And if you can't disprove it and everything goes through, then it proves it's authentic.
Well, let me read on. At first, the videos were analyzed and made public by the Serious UFO organization, directed by the researcher Haktu Akdagnan. Yeah. This case made big news in Turkey and in other countries as well. It also started a great debate between the official members of the Turkish scientific community, specifically the National Council for the Study of Science and Technology, or TÜBİTAK. I like that one. Got interested in analyzing the original footage with the intention of determining that the video was nothing more than a hoax, gambling on the idea of scale models, toys, or CGI. The original tape was handed to the TÜBİTAK representatives on live TV in their own headquarters. Once the analysis was concluded, they gave an official report from which we took the following fragment. The objects observed on the images have a structure made of a specific material and are definitely not any kind of CGI animation or in any means a type of special effect used for simulation in a studio or for video effects. So the conclusion of this report is that the observations are not a model, marionette, right? Or a fraud. What?
No, you got it.
I did get it. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And the last part of the report, it concluded that the object observed have a physical structure and are made of materials that don't belong to any category of airplanes, helicopters, meteors, Venus, Mars, satellites, artificial lights, Chinese lanterns, etc. And that it most likely fits in the category of UFO, unidentified flying object, and of unknown origin. So take it as you want. These guys are scientists. They're stating their reputation as National Council for Study of Science and Technology, and they're saying that they're putting it in the UFO category, not saying it is a UFO, but it is an unidentified flying object, because we do not see any fraud with this film.
Yeah, as I said, it mostly fits. So they're basically not saying, we're not confirming or denying it.
Right. Well, no, they're confirming it's not. It hasn't been. There's no model. There's no fraud that they can tell. There's no special effects being used by the person. So they're at least saying that this video is real, but they're too scared to say it's in UFO.
Then why don't they put it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
then
they're
why don't they say
scared.
it's
Do you
UFO?
want to be the first scientist to say that? No, because they're cowards.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Oh,
The
okay, so
government's,
we've got to take the words of cowards. Got it.
Yeah,
it's I can't even be mad because it's so absurd.
Okay. Others analyzed what was done by video specialist image edition. Okay. Special effect companies from Japan, Russia, and Turkey, all ending up with the same conclusion. In Chile, I asked Professor Jose Antanaz to technically examine the videos. And an expert in graphics and video with more than 30 years of experience on television. And his appreciation, Jose
Chicago.
Yeah, also came to the same conclusion that the images are authentic. So the images are authentic. Grant. So far, nobody has been able to demonstrate that the recordings are a product of tricks or some type of manipulation. Therefore, the debate has concentrated more over the nature and origin of the objects filmed by Yalman.
Now, actually, Jane brought up a good point. What's the source of this information? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to walk on you, Tina.
Oh, no, it was okay. And I was just going to say the fact that just because they've verified that the image isn't manufactured in any way, that doesn't mean we've identified what it is.
Yeah, no, true. And this is analysis by Mario Valdez Santiago from Chile, Jane. Sounds like credible guy.
Chile.
I mean, it is a Reddit thing, but this is this guy just breaking it down. Okay, so he sounds intelligent as of right now. Is he leaning one way or the other? We might find out as we read on. But what I'm hoping is this guy's actually taking this seriously, that a lot of the UFO UAP groups do, like MUFON and stuff, where some of them might be plants, I know, but there are people out there that take this very seriously. And we're always skeptical of anybody that doesn't have a PhD or, some letters or numbers or something after their name or before their name. And I'm sorry, I'll take this guy's word.
When it comes to subject matters like this, it's the same way I look at people who like historians. I'm actually less likely to believe someone who went to a school and is involved in that community, the academic community, than I would be an amateur who spends, decades working on researching and looking at these things because they have the passion to acquire this information or present it.
You're an outlier in that.
99.999%
of people want. Yeah.
I understand that, and I do, but it's like believing a politician. We have been lied to so much about a various array of things, and I believe extraterrestrials included. I mean, outright lied to. How many ancient civilizations talk about them and have statues and different temples that are committed to giving us examples of and telling us the stories of. I think that it's a open secret amongst the academic community. And like Scott said, who you want to be the first one that comes out and says it? I think that a lot of them do. I think that they know but because of the atmosphere, the hush-hush atmosphere, or the idea of being ostracized if you do, that they don't, that they keep this bubble, this echo chamber.
They're bullied.
Yeah, they're bullied. Yeah.
Just like archaeologists. You come out against the narrative that academia and archaeology have put together about our history. You are considered, they call you everything. I mean,
they'll smear you.
Graham Hancock is not a Yahtzee. He has grandchildren of mixed race. And for the idea of you to just use words, again, using words to taint this man's reputation, He is not an archaeologist. He's a writer, but he's an investigator. And I'm sorry, 30 years of what he's been doing, to me, he is more than just your average Joe. And it's these academics who make money off of things, or departments that make money off, or defense contractors, or defensive people in the military that do not want to scare people. You know, I think there is more knowledge of the truth that we don't get told. So I would rather listen to a guy who sounds like he's taking this seriously in his analysis than some, official from MIT.
I agree with that. And I also believe that it's so important to, like you brought up about, Mr. Grant Gregory being here, someone who looks at, let's debunk this. Let's look at this from all the different sides that we can, try and disprove it before we present it. And I think that's also very important. I'm not saying that people that have PhD, I'm sorry,
Darren, like my father before me, I haven't seen him in so long. I was worried, buddy, that you weren't around. So I'm so happy to see that you're here.
Yeah,
freaking
man.
Awesome, bro. Good to see you. And we have Mike Does. So good to see you, Mike.
Member of the Dragon Storm community. Hail, Mike Does. Thank you for showing up.
To be fair, having kids or grandkids who are mixed race doesn't, I know that, Jane, but you get the point. Like,
yeah, but as Graham Hancock said, it's like, how can I be racist when I married a lower race? Like,
yes, he brought
I married
her up.
I married one of them peoples.
Yes, and a woman. Oh God. Ugh. I get what you're saying, Jane. I really do. But from all of the evidence of 30 years of footage reading, Hancock is way far from anyone who I would ever call racist. They're calling him racist because his idea of ancient lost history is taking away from the native cultures that have their mythology and their history. So he's racist in doing that. Like, shut up, Dibble. Who had to lie on the Joe Rogan.
A lot of destroying someone's reputation if they're speaking out on things you don't want to be brought out is to confabulate. It is to take like a grain of something and then frame it in the way that they need to. So, like, I don't disagree with Jane, but I also understand what you're saying. Like, if you say something,
the media wouldn't do that.
No, the media wouldn't do that at all.
I mean, because I clearly remembered Trump saying that he's going to shoot Liz Cheney.
Yes. And Jane.
Who are we to say they were
racially superior people? No, what the story is that there was a cataclysm around 12,600 years ago, or 11,800 years ago during the Younger Dryas, where hunter-gatherers were the ones more likely to survive because they were used to surviving off of the land and hunting and gathering. It's in the name. These people went to them to survive, but also brought knowledge of the stars, of mathematics, things like that. And there's so many, we know there's over 114 flood stories that date around the same time. So to me, that is just history. And a lot of them say that a person came, usually about 7 of them. I don't know if that number, because 7 is such a godly number. Is it 7's a prime number too, correct?
7, yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those numbers that is godly. So they probably just use 7, but it's always 7 people came, brought knowledge, and after teaching them how to do agriculture, construction, the stars, math, reading, writing, they leave. Now they most likely just die. But it's just the megaliths that we have where other societies have built on top of them. You see it a lot in Peru. You see it in Lebanon, where there are these massive, beautifully leveled and layered rocks cut perfectly to the next rock, almost like they were molded into place. And then you see really good workmanship above it, but much smaller rocks, not as uniform, not as perfectly placed. It's not the same culture. Rome did not, in Lebanon. I think it's the temple to Athenia, maybe, but there's a temple there that is on these just hundred thousands of tons of blocks. And then you start seeing where the Romans built. I think we, just like George R.R. Martin kind of has the Tower of Old Town is on that black stone, thing. It's just, we build upon, and they're just not finding organics from this time yet, because there was a cataclysm that either washed it all away, sunk it to the bottom of the ocean, or we haven't dug deep enough yet. Sorry.
Whether or not we have,
or they've all decayed and they no longer exist.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether or not we all came from some like Younger Dryas, grand civilizations around the world, or there were it was more like the Anunnaki story where you had certain groups of humans which were altered or given special knowledge. The idea of building upon sacred spaces and places, I mean, even if it's technologies that you don't understand that came from another culture or your forebears, is a tradition that it's been around forever. And I kind of look at things I look at places like Stonehenge, and I look at that as inspired by maybe the greater megaliths. People trying to recreate that. But, you go back to the Sphinx. I always point at the Sphinx, a weather-worn Sphinx from way back when there was a jungle across, that part of the world. Yep. There are hidden histories that we have never been told and or have been kept secret from us. And I think it's because the technologies are probably cleaner than the explosion age we live in. And real quick, Jane, if you are part Atlantean, they were redheads. So don't hate gingers.
Yeah. And another thing, a lot of what Hancock's talking about is a lost ancient civilization that was not as developed as we are. They were developed differently. He believes they were just a intercontinental ship. Oh God, what am I saying? They were able to cross the seas to different areas and start cultures. He's not saying they had planes. I think they used sound to do a lot of things, but whatever.
I believe quartz, that too.
Yeah, quartz and things like that to save knowledge. But anyways, he is not even going as far as I'll go. He is just saying there was a civilization that wiped off the damn map, and that we have been around for at least 300,000 years, and why in only the last 10,000 we just started, hey, let's grow some shit and live together in walled cities so we don't die. I mean, if you look at England, after the fall of Rome, it only took 100 to 200 years before people didn't know who built Hadrian's Wall. You know what I mean? They didn't know what Rome really was. They thought some of it was from magic. So it's easy.
If I may, from that period of time, look at the Dark Ages. That is when the power of Rome shifted to the Byzantine Empire. Look at how the lack of interconnectivity between the different countries and clans collapsed socially, all of those areas. It's very plausible it's very plausible if there is a calamity or even a breakdown in trade, a plague of some sort, for history to be lost. In just a short span of time, as Scott was saying.
Yeah. I mean, our ancestors, our cousins have been around for over 2 million years, and then you had, and during our time, the Denisovans, Neanderthal, the Hobbit people, the Australians, the Dutch. That was so good. That was so good. Yeah. And who's to say they weren't able to build more than we think? I mean, we have been assuming that Neanderthals didn't have a culture like we did, and we're finding now paint or artwork from them. We're seeing that they did live in groups. They took our women because they were way stronger than us. So
we could have traded them at that point.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'm 4.6% Neanderthal, so.
Dude, your forehead says it all.
You can tell from the forehead.
Yeah,
What?
really. Yeah,
It's
you
not
and
that
Rogan.
big, is it?
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
human, yes.
Yeah, no, it's
Really?
Neanderthalish. Like your nose,
Really?
your face. You look like the ancestor of a Neanderthal and one of those hobbit people from Australia. Like you look like
What?
yeah, because you're little. So
I'm not
yeah,
that little.
dude, you're so short. I've been next to you. I like look down. I'm like, you see me up here, and you're like, what? What?
I was taller than Shellback.
That is true. He is like a midget. Where is
Are you taller
Shellback?
than
I haven't seen
comics?
him.
Are you taller than comics division?
No, I think they're the same height.
I am taller. Okay.
No.
That 3/4 of an inch counts. All right, it really counts.
That's what
I
she
am.
said.
I didn't. Huh?
No,
Yeah, but if you took
Neanderthal-
your high heels off, how tall are you then?
Who are you talking to? I don't wear high heels. Okay,
No,
only once
there's-
Rocky
he
Horror
doesn't live
Picture Show.
Yeah, he doesn't live in Florida anymore. He left them to DeSantis when he was leaving
Yeah.
the state.
Neanderthals were not hobbits. I'm saying his ancestors, the Neanderthals, humped the hobbits. Stay with me, Jane. Anyways, let's get back to this article. So this guy just goes through what.
Oh, and all the hair that he's got makes him a Neanderthal too. That makes sense. Now I think about it.
I'm not that hairy.
Yeah.
I'm not that
He's
hairy.
very hairy.
Listen, I have like 3 hairs on my chest and a bunch around my nips. That's all I have. Okay, that's it. They look like little sunflowers. That's all the
Yeah,
hair,
but
and none on my back. Nothing.
What dude told you that?
What? No. I have a mirror, Scott. Okay, I have a mirror. I look over my shoulder.
Okay, I wasn't judging. To be
You do realize there's another O. There's an O and an R in the word mirror. It's not mirror. It's mirror.
That's what I said. Mirror.
Mirror.
He's
Gonna have a shower. There's a mirror there.
He's from Delaware.
Delaware County.
Mm-hmm.
That must be a really big place. I've never heard of it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, we're gonna move on. To be honest, at the beginning, my idea was to analyze the video, hoping to find some elements in them that would be evidence of possible fraud. This is I don't know if I believe. Taking in count the spectacular manner in which the case was labeled, announced that for the very first time, a UFO was videotaped with its occupants precisely inside one of the objects. So I do remember this. I just don't remember the footage. I do remember a picture with the like the 2 aliens, and then I remember like a drawing of it. So anyways, not a minor issue for those of us who are obsessed with these themes. It was from skepticism. And why not say it with a quote of prejudgment? Prejudgment. I
Is it the syllables? Is it okay?
I can't
Get
speak.
Chicago to read. She loves to read. She's done eating.
Okay, I'll finish this part. I decided to take some time and check out the fragments of the movie. You could say footage, not movie, dude. You could say that my expectations were to find the string of the puppet. Okay, go on.
To make the analysis, I used electronic copies of the original videos given to me by the Turkish investigator Haktan Akdagan, who picked up this case first-handed. I met with Haktan personally to comment about this incident, and I was very grateful of him handing me a copy of the original tape with which I could accomplish my work. Excuse me. The analysis will be exposed in a chronological and sequential way in the same order that the research and the results came. Finally, what I present here is only a portion of all that was extracted from the videos and from the image analysis. It's a lot of material, and when the moment comes, I will complete this publication with more findings. The first appreciations related to the videos. There is always a first
Time out
impression.
real quick. They didn't give it to him. He was talking about that was another part.
Yeah. So like, didn't they say that there was no tampering of the tape? How would they know that if they only got a copy?
No, he got a copy. Okay, so he got the copy. The originals are with the Turkish or whatever that group is. He even says it at some point. He said, I got a copy of the tape. So far, I swear he says it somewhere. I just want to make sure I didn't miss that part. Yeah, sure. maybe he'll tell us down. I know he didn't get the original copy. The part we were talking about before is when the on TV, the science group 2-Bit Talk were given the real footage on live TV at their headquarters. But he's not talking about the original. Okay. Go ahead. Tina, are you there?
I'm sorry, I was singing happy birthday to my son. Okay, sorry.
Okay,
There is
your
always a
son
first
can
impression.
wait. This is Aluminum.
Oh my God.
Spork. How old is he? 4?
No, he
Happy
just
birthday.
turned 23.
Oh, okay. So happy birthday. Get back to it, Tina.
That's so weird. He had a birthday. I thought he had a birthday last year around this time. That's so
Yeah, I
weird.
know. Like, how many times are you guys going to celebrate this?
They were both born in the fall. The other one's birthday was 3 weeks ago. But anyway, at first look,
Happy
it
birthday.
called my
Good take,
attention
like
to
Christmas sex. All right, go on.
Yeah, well, his birthday's in January, thus the
Mine too.
October kid. My birthday's in February, thus the November kid. So,
Yeah.
it is
I
what it
got
is.
you. Birthday set. All right, go ahead.
Okay, at first look, it called my attention to the honesty of the takes. That is, you can't observe any kind of tendency or intention of hiding something. It is clear that the film man, as in film man, does everything. Okay, the guy who's filming. It is
Yeah,
clear
this
that
guy
the film man does
he's from
everything.
Chile. He is from Chile, so this isn't his
That's
first,
right.
you
That's right. Right. It's not his native
language.
language. Okay, the film man does everything possible to configure his camera the best way to capture the objects. He makes constant changes in light entry and zoom, trying to show as clearly as possible what is happening while he films. He also worries on registering different reference points and at the same time making very powerful close-ups. Even at the first, the appreciation can be subjective, as I mentioned before. It must be considered in the context of an attitude and disposition totally open of the witness, who has shown his face and delivered all background of this case, including the video camera and the original tapes. After my first look at the image, film grain illumination, close-ups, and reference points, also audio, ambient sound, narration, and witness attitude, agrees totally with the authentic recording of objects at a great distance, filmed at night, the ones used in this work. There are also daytime recordings with interesting details, but in this analysis, will only be the night ones. Having these observations in account, plus the reports from Tubatak and the opinion of Professor Jose Antaneas, I am willing to do and expose the following graphic analysis. Beginning analysis of the first obtained photograms. As I mentioned before, the objective of this review was to find elements that would reveal or a fraud or a setup in the sequence of the video. For this, I realize an exhaustive observation of the images with considerable close-up and frame-by-frame process. The video segments used in this part correspond to the June 8th, 2008 and May 13th, 2009 dates.
Yeah, I totally agree with Brian. That looks like a Cylon Raider. Yeah.
Given that the most spectacular aspects of the case on the alleged presence of USO occupants in the footage, the observation point was centered primarily in the center zone of the object. That's where, according to the witness, there was someone, what was being interpreted as the occupants or crew. In summary, the records of the case indicate that there in the center of the object would be found some type of door or window that at times remains open and from where it's possible to see two quote unquote heads, which would correspond to the slippery occupants.
Nice. Scotty, you're muted, man. You've been muted. We just didn't say anything. Tina's
I was wondering first. I was wondering where
voice-
Grant went. Grant went. I was wondering what happened to Grant. Where are you, Grant? We need you to come back. Anyways, the same guy videotaped all of this from like June 8th and May 13th, like almost 2 years apart or a year apart. It's the same video guy, the same camera guy. That's a little suspicious. I'll say that. Okay. Did we read this bottom part?
Were you even paying attention to what Tina was doing?
I
A short
was
time
scared.
after reviewing, I could
Grant
observe
Grant left.
a couple of photographs that caused me strangeness and amazement. My first reaction was to say, bingo, here there's something. After a second view of the fragment, I was able to isolate a sequence that seems, to say the less, interesting. Not just because of the clarity of the takes, but also because the investigation started to turn more complex from the point of view of the different explanation theories possible. In fact, at this point, a series of questions appear that later I will comment on. In concrete, the sequence shows with acceptable clarity the moment in which one of the figures, apparently of humanoid characteristics, raises, then looks, and it remains for a fraction of the time looking right at the front. The appearance is that of a head with two relatively big and dark eyes. Also, it is possible to interpret what part of the body of the figure is left to see as a body or small torso in relation to the head. One of the
Did you hear what
photographs
Tina
of the
said, or are you still thinking about another man, Scott?
I'm. Where did Grant go?
One of the photograms of the sequence, this is the original image, just as it appears on the recording. Okay, so the top's the original image, and then they enhanced it below.
Okay. Let's see if we
I
can
think.
enlarge it. Okay, original image. I see eyeballs. One, two, 1, 2, a little mouth, a big head, and freaking alien. Jane. Okay. All right. All right. And now the second image.
They made it
enhanced.
bigger. Yeah.
Why won't he let me enhance that one?
What do you
make it bigger, Scott?
Son of a bitch.
I'm big in it. I'm big in
Make
it.
it
I'm big in it.
Make it bigger. Use your browser. Use the magnifying thing.
How do you do that?
Go to the corner of your browser and then make it bigger. A little magnifying.
You hold down the control key and then hit plus.
You're just saying like
okay,
that?
yeah, she's smarter.
Yes.
Okay, that was that.
Oh, we can scroll down.
God,
There
we
you
lost
go.
it.
All right, I'm going bigger. 300.
All right, good. Oh my God, it's not big
Oh,
enough.
look at that.
Oh yeah, you can almost see like teeth,
eyes.
sort of.
Yeah.
Like very much the jaw.
Yeah, jaw.
He's wearing a hoodie.
Almost. Is that an arm? Arm right here?
Oh, it's like Doctor Doom.
You're right.
Now, I don't know if that's a humanoid, but that looks like maybe wearing a mask. You might like Ant-Man. Almost looks like Ant-Man.
I mean, it almost looks like a hybrid. I mean, as far as the traditional grays, like it almost looks like a mix.
We're going one
Yeah,
bigger.
it looks more like the Greys from Communion and less like because the Greys in Communion had kind of a. Actually, no, I might even be thinking of the wrong movie. The one that
well,
there was the one that had the Greys with the tissue, the traditional like upside down teardrop heads, and then the elephant kind of blue large aliens, and then the other movie that I'm thinking of had just the Greys, except their heads were a little bit different.
Okay, I don't know what movie you're talking about.
But look at the separation of the eyes, the eye sockets. Like there's a very heavy nose mouth area, although I can't see a nose, but it looks different than the depictions of the Greys that we have seen.
Right. 500. We're going 500.
The traditional Greys were in Communion. That was the movie that had Christopher Walken in it from the late 80s. That one's a good one. It's based on a book of a real life experience.
All right, don't make it any bigger. It won't fit.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Trying to figure out what this shadow is like on the side. Is this paradoxical?
It looks like she's wearing something, unless it's a wig, and it must have been chest day on Alpha Centauri because he looks a little buff. If that's the single body.
All right, we're going minus again. Okay, I went 2 minus.
Yeah, Jane, it's a hybrid. That's what I'm telling you. It's a hybrid.
Oh, that's where we were. Going one bigger.
Man.
All right, here we are.
You can't play these games.
And the other movie I was thinking of was Fire in the Sky from the early 1990s.
Oh, Fire in the Sky, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that one had Robert Patrick from X-Files, also from Terminator.
That was about a Walton.
There you
Huh.
A Walton got
Mr.
abducted in that movie.
Mr. Bigwig Majid AG Lig Vietnam Ham Jam
God.
Big Stick. Yeah. Where are the
No
U.S.
respect.
reports on this? Every time there is a valuable UFO report,
Valuable.
that's what I said. Our government sends someone. There is no mention of this in the UFO files. Odd because of how clear the images are. That is very odd.
I mean, for my first thought would be the more authentic it might be, the more they would hide it, or not. That's kind of where my mind goes.
Look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we look at South American, Canadian, but Turkey, I don't know how many reports there are in U.S. official docs from Turkey.
I don't know, but Göbekli Tepe's in Turkey, so there was definitely some ancient magic happening there.
Right?
Excellent point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, be sorry.
In this image, only one level filter was applied, increasing the luminosity of the scene. This allows the extraction of the most data possible that the camera could capture without modifying the image quality. After checking uncountable times this photogram sequence 5, I got the conviction that the figure in question is not static. By the contrary, it is in permanent movement in general with the view looking down, with the exception of this segment in which the figure happens from this position to look fixedly at the front and then lower the quote unquote view again. Here, parts of the consecutive photograms summarized in the 4 principal ones.
Okay.
So-
Okay. Blowing it up again, guys. Blowing it.
You can do it. I believe you.
500.
Oh, you learn how to do it
500.
quick.
What are you doing?
Where are you
Excuse me. I am in an official meeting right now trying to discover if these are aliens. You need to get out of here.
Oh my God, I love little girl laughs.
You need to move, child.
Little girl
This is
giggles.
important. I don't want you to be scared. Okay. I'm trying to discover aliens right now. Your father is an important human being. Excuse me. I'll be right back. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Would you see things like this, Tina? Like how do you judge it as far as its authenticity? Are you more apt to believe it, or are you looking to debunk something?
It's really tough. I mean, I believe that it's something unexplained. Once again, I'm still not sure if aliens are like outer space aliens or like us traveling back in time type scenario. I don't know yet. But I also look at gray aliens in a weird light because I am terrified of them. Like terrified. Used to have there's a recurring dream all the time about aliens. Like there were times when I couldn't sleep
Sure, it's a
for
dream.
weeks on end if I saw a movie that included a gray alien, even if something would come up on a TV screen like in a commercial. All of a sudden I would just like be frozen like for a split second.
What I
just
can't
have
stand
this-
about the Grays, I'm sorry, Walton, but
Oh, no,
what I can't stand about the Grays are they're just like us in a way. So we go into nature, we tranquilize an animal, we take hair samples, saliva, then we tag them and we send them on their way. And then we follow them. And then maybe we trank them again a couple of years later and retag them and do this. So like, that's what they do to us.
Yeah.
What point? I forgot what point I was going to make. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you are. Yeah, it is moving. So you can see like it turning its head.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not static. Or it's the camera, but it seems to like the one on the left here is more you could see, but it then like starts to turn away.
Hey, Demogeny, these are real aliens.
Yeah, they are. You know what's up, D. You know what's up, D. Feel free to jump in, my brother.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Tina, if you were having dreams like that, like, so Coil's a contactee, talk to him because he is very adamant about not only repressed memories because of the fear that you have because of the Greys, but also that they make contact through more than physical three-dimensional means because they are they're a civilization from a higher technology, more evolution. They have more abilities than we do. Like, you can call them psychic or whatnot. Sometimes they will make contact in that way instead of direct person-to-person contact. So you may have had experiences. So yeah, definitely hit up Alex.
Interesting.
He's only up about that. It might be where the fear comes from because, as Scott was saying, the Greys they're like low vibrational, man. They come down and they'll take things from you. They'll implant you with trackers. They probe you. They do whatever they want with you.
Because we are a lower we're a lower species to them. We're just animals to them, and they're just.
But that's base though. But you got to think about that like in a galactic sense, right? Like we look at countries. If that is the way that they are, it's because they have no care about, let's just say, humanitarian things. Mm-hmm. They look at other people as objects. There are other civilizations, I believe, that exist, the galactic civilizations that don't think in those terms. They don't look at direct interference. They're more like that Star Trek future. We don't, the prime directive, we don't interfere, or they come to help.
I can completely see that if anytime we have what might be an alien, craft crash or something, and it kind of reminds me of, the teenager that goes and takes mom and dad's car out for a drive kind of thing, and then runs over the mailbox or something, where these could be others of whatever species or us from the future. Somebody goes and borrows the spaceship and accidentally crashes. And
I mean, that's a cool concept, but then you look at the idea of time, like time travel, right? So if you go back and you disturb something, you create an entirely new timeline. It is plausible. Like, I'm not discounting that. I have thought that myself, that there are travelers from the future, like historians coming back. But each time they do that, they would create a new timeline. They would create a new series of events. I'm more apt to believe.
Happened.
I'm possible. Well, yeah, this is all theory, but I'm more apt to believe that they are some type of geneticists. That instead of gold or precious materials or minerals that we would think of as currency, that to them genetics would be a type of currency, right? So getting samples and things from different worlds and then working them into a genome or experimentation, or trying to find a fountain of youth, whatever it is they're looking for. I think that there are more civilizations out there that do this through direct harmful means, like Greys or Draconians or those types. And I think that there are those out there that are more benign in their interactions. And I'm just pulling that from the histories, if you look at them as extraterrestrial, from ancient civilizations who talk about these things. You guys know the Anunnaki's my favorite. So they literally, if you look at it and read it in a certain light, they came to Earth and they fiddled with man, fiddled with our genetics, made us more like them so that we could operate their machinery and do their work. And if that's the case, then who's to say that we haven't been a petri dish for how long, with geneticists who come periodically and do experimentations on us? Like, I just think that when we look at people, and I'm looking at this from a completely Terran perspective, we look at the way that humans act, different types of humans, and when we're being nice to people, we don't go break into their home and eat their cat. We don't harm others. We don't seek to harm others, but there are humans who do. And I think it's the same in a galactic situation, or galactic civilizations. At least that's my opinion on it. But the idea of time travel, I've totally thought about that. And wouldn't it be cool to go back and take a look at, were the pyramids constructed when they said they were, or when was it constructed, and being able to observe those things. I just look at the tent. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I can absolutely relate to that, because there's multiple, sci-fi series and movies that have been about the fact that, some other species is kind of using us for the genetic manipulations, like you were saying, or just, manipulating us in such a way because they need our resource for whatever reason, whatever that resource is. I mean, we're fighting for, a bunch of dead dinosaurs underground in the terms of, oil and gas. But
right. Well, like I was thinking when I saw the recent. Did you see War of the Worlds, the one with Tom Cruise, the remake?
No, I don't think I've
that
seen it.
in that movie, also by the way, this craft, it looks like a little bit like the 1950s War of the Worlds if you put like an antenna up on the top of it. But
okay.
it kind of does. But going back, in that movie, they came in, they outright began to exterminate humanity, but then they began to collect them and process them through their machines, their tripod machines, and then sprayed this genetic organic material all over the place, like seeding the planet in order to make it more like theirs, where it was fleshy and bloody, like vines that were growing out. And I saw that and I thought to myself, I mean, wouldn't a civilization that is much more advanced than us, if they were dark, if they were that way, wouldn't they use genes or genomes or genetic? They'd be master geneticists,
Oh yeah.
Why not create a hybrid civilization or a thrall class in order to do your work? And again, it takes me back to the idea of the Homo sapiens sapien and Neanderthal. Like, is that what happened to them? Did we exterminate them, or did we try to enslave them? Yeah. Humans are capable of any number of things, and I really do believe in the human spirit. But if that is a constant across the universe, then would there not be more? Would there not be both light and dark civilizations out there, or people? And all and going back to like the idea of different cultures, a culture that is so outside of our understanding, like how could we possibly derive if they were harmful or if they were benign?
No, that's true.
How could you even judge that? I'm spitballing here while Scott's here. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best. Tina, like for you, when you see what has been to you the best evidence or most believable evidence when it comes to UFOs, UAPs?
Oh gosh. I think the testimony of just the average testimony of whether it's a domestic or military pilot, just the fact that there's been consistently items that they may differ in shape and activity, but that there's just something anomalous that's happening, above the earth.
Yeah.
And that's been happening for, 100 years.
I mean, you look at the way they discredit or attempt to discredit, or actually do in the cases of hoaxes, people who come forward with these stories. The fact that there have been so many, what are the chances that it's that it's some type of grand delusion, mass delusion? What do you think the chances are of that?
Oh, interesting. I don't.
What?
We were holding it down, bro. I was talking my ass off, and Tina was helping.
That's good.
Shane was clowning me the whole time.
I'll just
I
tell
have
you,
Fifi's too.
Yeah, you do. I'll just tell you, this thing is really long.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've probably never heard that before, so I'm glad to be here for you. So we're just going to take a quick look at some of the stuff. All right. Okay. In the following close-up sequence 6, it's possible to see that the humanoid figure is visible even without the need to apply zoom. And I mean, yeah, their heads.
That's pretty cool, man.
But their heads must be massive, dude, if they're that big next to this big object. You know what I mean?
Well, are we seeing the true dimensions of the object, or some of it hidden?
Well, it kind of reminds me, remember from an Independence Day when they go to blow up when they've gone inside the alien ship and they go to blow up the guy who's just sitting there in a booth by himself next to his buddy, right as they blow it all to bits. It kind of reminds me of the same thing. It's a small area within, their ship, and they're both sitting, driver and,
I mean, look at that close up. That's,
yeah.
It could also be an exo suit. some type of helmet, because that looks more helmet-like to me now.
Yeah. It could. Yeah, possible. That could also be their species type of roadhead. Like how
Well,
they
that
get that.
too, yeah. Because it looks like stuff is connected here. Or hair, but it may be like some type of breathing
Apparatus. Yeah.
food tube to using their mind to drive. I don't know.
And also going back to the dimensions of the ship, is it possible they have a technology that like the TARDIS from Doctor Who? Can they create spaces inside of space?
Yeah, no, true. Space time, for example, explaining them. I have chosen the following 3 stills, 7, 8, and 9, that support the hypothesis of which the figure in the analysis is really in the recording and is not production of games of light. So this is this person saying this is a real being. Whoa. Now that
scares the crap out of me.
Does it, Tina? Like, what do you feel when you see that image?
That's terrifying.
It's similar to having a panic attack where you're kind of your entire body almost feels like it's a harp string where somebody's just plucked it and your whole body is humming, but at the same time you can't catch your breath. It's weird.
You should do some regression or talk to someone, because you're probably a contactee and you don't know it, to have that type of reaction. That's what I feel. Talk to Alex when you get a chance.
Oh yeah, no, that would be cool.
Yeah, is there more than one of them? Eventually, in the following, I expose at least one still, 10, that can support the idea. I mean, from what we've been looking at, it seems like there's 2 of them. Maybe this one's facing backwards.
We automatically assume that they're sitting next to each other like 2 seats in a car, kind of thing. But one could be further back or at a different angle.
One
could be sniffing the other.
At the left of the figure exposed before that would find another one, similar characteristics. They are clearly visible, the form of the head and both dark eyes. Symmetry. I don't see it on this one. It just looks like glowing light. But okay. Something is moving in the first plane. You can check the sequence of video and identify the zone to which I refer to. He's talking about. So saying something here is moving. I wonder what this outline here is on the.
Man, it looks like an apparatus. Either that or Princess Peach wig. Like it's
something weird like that.
Well, that's why I think it looks like Doctor Doom, because it's got the hood and then kind of the cape situation going on.
Yeah. Where's Gary? That's a really good question. What's up, Johnny? Well, then after checking the video, different configurations, I've come to the strange enough and complex conclusion of explaining without showing simultaneously the fragments of the video, which is difficult to do for this way. Nevertheless, I will try to do it by means of isolating stills and explanatory drawings. Okay, so now we're going to go do still 16.
Let's do some drawings.
Okay, so he's pointing here at frame 12. Is it turning its head, maybe? I don't know. And then frame 13. So frame 12, he's saying the being is sitting like really messed up way like that. Or it's standing. That is neck. And it's coming down over here.
I don't know, Tina. It looks like a suit more than anything else, doesn't it?
Yeah, to me it looks like a suit.
Agreed.
That doesn't look like the actual alien. He's trying to make you see it, but I don't see it. That is a little terrifying, the eyes and stuff. I mean, we could be seeing, but this could be its torso, and we're just seeing a space between its arms, like torso, arms, and this is really their head somewhere up here, and we just don't see it. So like there's enough going on here where it's hard to tell. Like, I'm sorry, that doesn't look like that to me.
No.
I think he's really trying too hard to fit this stuff in. That like there's a lot of spaces where you'll see black. Like on this one, it's better. Let's go over here. This one you can see it better. Like, yeah, there's the two he's saying are eyes, but these could be eyes over here. Or these could be eyes, or this could be eyes. It's all
yeah, there's too much there's too much going on.
Yep. Yeah. He's trying.
And grays have fingers, all right, not those pointy things. First off.
Yeah.
Long, slender fingers.
I mean, the ship must be a lot bigger. That we're only seeing the sliver, but it must come down to here. At least.
That's what I would think. I think that maybe there's that's a shadow underneath of it.
I just like looking at the stills. So this guy's trying, but it's long.
Jane wants to know what the website is.
So I'll share it in there for you guys. Here we go. I'll put it right there in the comment section. It's Archivos of 2012 I-12 blogspot.com. Yeah, no, I totally read it right.
Oh, that's like it's got to be like a foreign word for archive. Archivos of the.
That's exactly what I said. Oh my god!
Yeah,
hit that. I nailed that. I nailed that.
Amazing, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like this one, he's saying it's showing it the being laying down. Like, what is he?
What?
That's what I'm talking about. He's doing that paradox, whatever that thing is called.
Yeah, pareidolia or something.
Yeah, like I could see now that he shows it a mouth, nose, eyes, but they're not laying right there. That's stupid.
I don't think so. I think they're sitting up next to each other.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That is Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. All right. And they are going to go save the freaking world. That's what it is.
They are. That's just exciting. Now he's saying there's like 3 of them.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's interesting, I suppose. I mean, what if? Oh crap!
They have a being. Oh my god!
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, what if they want? What if they're coming here and they just want our mosquitoes? Like, what if it's something we don't want? That are like, we're all scared.
Does that look like a mosquito to you?
No,
Tina?
no, they want our mosquitoes. They're just testing them.
This looks like 3 guys going ham on somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Ebola is like
right.
worth gold or platinum in the rest of the universe, and they're just coming to take something we don't want anyway.
Johnny says, "Sporking, bro, you cover a lot of things." I do. I cover a lot of. I cover what I'm interested in. That's why my channel doesn't do good.
What's up,
That's exactly what I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of cooking, so I might not be able to stay that long.
That's fine. We're not going to be going much longer anyways. But you're right, dude. I'm like, you cover what you like. I cover what I like. So I wish I can do multiple channels. I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I'm the same way, brother. I feel like the whole multiple channel thing is cool and all. If that's your permanent thing, like you're doing YouTube for a living, that sounds great to have to do that. But for me, I use my channel like how you would think of the old terrestrial NBCs and stuff. You would go to NBC, you watch, you get your news, you get your comedy, you get your whatever you want on that specific channel. That's how I feel my channel should be. Like, you come to me, you get anime, you get some pop culture, you get maybe a sprinkle a little bit of politics, because we can't really escape that right now. But that's what it should be.
Yeah,
I hate that YouTube forces you to like stick to one thing. Me personally, I can't stick to one thing. I'm not a freaking like robot. I gotta do multiple things.
Yeah,
I mean, in having a history of working in prior to the place I work now, but working in direct marketing industry, you can absolutely market to people with such diverse interests or combination of diverse interests, and you can do it easily. So why YouTube would be unable to sell advertising to a channel like that blows my mind.
Yeah, like I do have a music channel that I just haven't put anything on it yet. It's Sporking Records. I want to do like Beatle content and stuff like that, which I definitely won't do on this channel. But this channel, I've been doing aliens Ancient Lost History and A Song of Ice and Fire from the beginning. So I don't know why they get confused. YouTube sucks.
YouTube
What?
sucks.
Yeah, I just said that too. But yeah, this is the footage. I mean, it's pretty sick, dude. I've never seen this before. And Grant had a valid point. It's like, I mean, actually looking at this, it does look like someone's laying down there and they're like looking at them.
Yeah.
But Grant's right. This would be more. Why isn't this more famous?
Suppression. I don't know. I'm not sure. You know what? I've never actually been able to ask Demogeny this. Do you believe in aliens?
Hold on, real quick before you answer that, sir. Before you answer it, Toxic Man Flu, one of my favorite people in the world, just became a member.
You're his favorite person in the world right now, Tox. Thank you, Tox. Thank you.
I love Tox. I always am like,
yeah.
Tox, can I jump on a show with you guys?
Hail the dicks.
He's always like, yeah, Scott, you're always welcome. And then I forget where to find it because I'm not good with Discord. And somehow I think I have 3 Discord profiles.
Oh, I suck at Discord, man.
I'm so terrible at it.
See,
I'm such a boomer when it comes to Discord. I'm a straight up old timer.
Me too, bro.
You guys just need to love the MCU, because if you can't be on like comics channel and stuff, you can make comments that they advertise all the time because they know.
I know it is
crazy.
It is great. But like those guys, they're always like welcoming for me to come on, and I just always forget to get there. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
They're great people.
So to answer your question, I believe that there are other creatures in this universe, because that would be ridiculous to say, but I don't believe in the traditional sense. So my take on it is taking a little bit from the biblical aspect, where there are other creatures that the Bible speaks of,
fallen angels,
what we would call angels, what we call the spirit realm. So I believe they exist. That part I believe. So that's just me. So
well, if you look at it, a lot of the Old Testament is very closely to what the Sumerians wrote in their epic tales about the Anunnaki. And if you read Genesis, there's moments in Genesis where they have they use God's lower G, and then they go back to God. So like there is some parts of that, I think, that go from more ancient writings. Toxic Man Flu for $5 friggin'.
You gonna read it?
Yeah, stop it. I'm just here for Tina's bad takes. They're epic.
I'm glad somebody loves me.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Toxic. I love you, man. Tina's afraid of the alien. She is. All right, we're done with this. Let's put this away for now. So there was like 1 or 2 other little things I wanted to show you guys before we call it.
Nobody wants to see those. You'll get demonetized.
No, these are, well, I might, because it's what's his name? Oh shit. Ricky Gervais.
Oh.
Like, first of all, have you guys seen the MCU Kamala ad?
Oh yeah.
You have, right? Have you guys seen it? The MCU Kamala ad?
The P. Diddy party list, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see it. I did see it.
I think this is kind of a response to some of this.
Yeah, it's the world could be collapsing. The world could be falling apart. Everybody could know the story, and these people will still lie to each other and lie to you.
I was watching that myself. Okay, let's go on.
I know all about stuff, like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, that's like a hate crime. It makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country. And you don't want that. Hi guys, Ricky G here.
You missed the beginning.
Wellness and beauty influencer.
So, this is the one thing I would say that they get wrong every single time we have an election is I missed the time when we didn't know what the adult pretenders views. Listen, and I get it. As an American citizen, you have the right to do that. Here's the thing. I'd be perfectly fine to say, hey, I'm voting for XYZ. You should just go out and vote. That's where you should stop. That's where it shouldn't be, hey, if you don't vote, it's going to be the end of democracy when quite literally the person who's in there is I don't want to get you in trouble, but quite literally was inserted and not elected, inserted into the place that they're in. So let me do this right here. So here's the deal. So we all know when you have your president and your vice president, that's a package deal. The package deal that comes with that is if something, God forbid, happens to your commander in chief, that person who's the vice president is supposed to get, say it with me now, sworn in, and then take over. Now, if she would have been sworn in and was placed in the spot that she's in, I would have less of an issue with it. Now, I'm not a fan, and I'm not a fan of Donald in particular per se, but listen, I have less of a problem with him being a 34 convicted felon than her being inserted in and quite literally just trampling over the Constitution.
Amen,
that's what she's doing.
Amen.
Right. I mean, if she wanted to be president that much, Biden could have at any point in the last 12 weeks just resigned.
Let her
be the president for 2.5 months. Whatever. She goes down in history as the first female president. Great.
He doesn't.
And then we have
from that perspective, you're taking away her re-electability. You're going to make her a lame duck in her first term, and I think that's why they wouldn't count the first term.
You are able to run for office twice, so she's not. She will be president, but she gets to run twice.
Okay, forgive me. I thought. Okay, thank you for correcting me.
Mr. Grant Gregory for $5 more. This is great. I'm making money. Maybe I'll get paid two times in a row from YouTube.
What?
Mr. Grant Gregory AI for $5 Australian. When voting this year, do what celebrities say. They are better than you. You simple-minded fools or pores. He said pores. I'll say fuels, but let's see what Scarlett wants us to know.
You guys, hi Avengers.
Hey, Scarlett.
Jumping on the call.
Whoa. I think you mean assembling.
She wasn't. Bottom left was not an Avenger. Okay, Black Panther was an Avenger. She was his side chick.
She was a cool character, though.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she wasn't. Side chick.
Don, that's pretty good. No, that was funny.
Scarlett, it is our pleasure to come together and to get the vote out this election. Come on.
Yeah, how can we be of service?
How about we start with what our voting
I hate this guy.
plans are going to be, who we're going to bring to the polls with us, that sort of thing.
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
How about this? I'm just off the top of my head. I can do this all day.
Shut up. I hate it.
Okay.
I mean, it's original, but
what about something punchier like, ooh, boom. You looking for this? Iron Man 2, everybody loved it.
Okay, again, I think we're just trying to get out the vote.
Kamala forever.
That's better.
Okay, how about I'm down with democracy? It's just clean, it's simple. Okay, I like that.
It's hard to argue with that.
Kamala Harris down with democracy.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is this against her? Wait a minute. Let's keep listening.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I say
hold that for a second.
down with democracy.
I don't know if that's.
I just wanted to say, the Princess Bride comes to mind and says, "You keep using this word, but I don't think you mean these words. It means you think." That's what I think right now.
Maybe it's a Freudian slip.
That's a sound, though.
I think we just need. Can we get some production though?
Jarvis.
My name's not Jarvis, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. Down with democracy.
Down with democracy.
Is that what we mean, though?
Yeah, together we're gonna tear down democracy.
Will you stop playing heroic music under yourselves?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I am down with democracy. Did I sound enough like her on that one?
That was great. How many Golden Globes have you been nominated for? I'm just curious.
I mean, I don't mind a bunch of people getting together and having fun like that if they were nobodies. Or if somebody did like a Halloween skit and they all dressed up as different Avengers and they were endorsing, their candidate because it's the average Joe. But to have the adult pretenders doing it is just disgusting.
Thank you, bad taste.
Everybody
Assemble to
has
tear down democracy.
Everybody has the right to speak their mind. Everybody has the right to vote how they want to vote, speak out how they want to speak out. Right? So I can't really I don't have any problem with that. My issue is actually kind of going back to what Damaj and I was saying earlier, which is these people in that industry have lived in an echo chamber for so long. They reinforce one another. It's an active culture in Hollywood to shame someone if they do not vote or speak or politically, if they have a strong religious inclination that isn't sanctioned, like any number of things within the Hollywood cult. And that's kind of my issue. It's like you're seeing a group of people.
Vote? How many of those guys really are going to vote for her?
I have no
Mark
idea.
Ruffalo.
I have no idea. But what I do see is them reinforcing an echo chamber, like perpetuating a culture of shaming others that we have seen out of Hollywood. I mean, God damn, all of us here grew up in the menace. You know how the media would come after us. We had a bad take on a movie or a film or something. Like that is the culture of Hollywood. They take that to the political realm. That's why we have the issues that we've had with our modern myths. Yeah. And this is basic. It's not funny. It doesn't, but to them it's hilarious. And honestly, I think them taking down democracy was more of a communist slip than anything else, man. It wasn't a joke. I don't think that was a joke. That's just my take on it. But people do have the right to speak how they want to speak and promote it and say what they want to say, who they're going to vote for. That's fine.
Yeah. I just feel like a lot of some of them are saying what they're supposed to say. And then when you're in a voting booth, no one knows what you vote for unless you tell them. And you don't have to be honest. I just put a link in here to Elon Musk. It's actually Stoli TV did a 7-minute video of just her and explaining she has nothing going for her. So please check it out. And I just know we got to end it now because the kids next door have to go to bed. So I want to thank you all. Damaj and I love you. Talk, my friend. Say what you need to say. I feel it. Feel it. Damaj and I. Oh, wrong one. Sorry.
I was trying to scarf down some food real fast. But yeah, listen, like I said before, I got no issue with them, promoting who they want to promote. The problem I have is that you can't do that in reverse. Could you imagine any of them? I mean, look what happened to Zachary Levi, who I actually like. I like Zachary Levi even before anything, right?
Yeah.
Because he was the type that really didn't say anything about his political stance, right?
Yep.
And that's usually and I've heard many people say the artists that you hear out there that are out there who don't say anything, they probably vote the other way.
Yeah. But he had the balls to come out and support Donald Trump. Like I was shocked by that. I mean, he is actively maybe not like top tier A-lister, but he's not a C or D. Like that guy is definitely up there.
I think he's like a B.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if Shazam did better, the second one, he would be up there, but whatever.
Yeah.
The guy's a good actor and he felt like
saw him in Chuck. That was the
out.
first thing I saw him in.
He was awesome in Chuck, but he felt like he had to come out because all of Hollywood, all of P. Diddy's friends are telling you to vote Harris.
Oh my God. Did you see what's going on with that?
Amen, bro. I know.
Oh yeah. A report on it.
Holy smokes. It's like the one with Usher is the most glaring one because he quite literally was like, "Nah, I'm not going to go there." And then we get closer to after he gets busted for whatever he's doing. Which, by the way, I still want to know what exactly did he do to make them so mad? Because listen, I don't care who you are. When you get to a certain level, you can't do the stuff that you're going to do like that without the permission of the higher ups.
Amen. He tried to step up.
Same thing with that island, with those flight logs that we won't ever see. You don't get to do that unless the higher ups allow it. So for them to be, coming after him like that seems like that's something like what did you do on the back end that they're so mad at you now?
Right.
Even with Trump.
Yes, you are absolutely.
Trump was quite literally a freaking pop culture icon.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Yeah. They loved him to the moment he got elected. To the moment he got elected, they loved him.
Yeah, and listen, you know what? If he wouldn't have gotten elected, they would still just, oh, he's just a funny guy, basically. You know, that's basically what about. But being that he actually got elected, and the biggest thing that I could tell is the fact that he's uncontrolled chaos to the system. You have to play. Listen, he has to play by the rules because we already seen when you don't play by the rules. They already tried it once on camera, and they tried it again allegedly. That we didn't see, but the guy got caught. But you know, if you don't play by the rules, you get JFK'd.
Yeah.
And he went those 4 years not playing by the rules.
And look what they tried to do to him now.
Again. Yeah, and they're quite literally trying to bury him politically, monetarily, put him away in jail. They try to 66 him for real.
Yeah.
It's like that alone makes me be like,
yeah, amen.
He's on to something.
Right.
He must be on to something, you know.
And going in,
I'm sorry, I didn't try to wrap up.
Oh, it's all right. But going in the second time, he is more knowledgeable of who to bring with him. I mean, having Robert F. Kennedy take care of health and all the medical shit with Pfizer and all the big pharma. That's awesome. Tulsi Gabbard will have some place in his cabinet, which
By the
will
way,
be awesome.
Tulsi's a fine woman. I like the way she's a Democrat. Like the now, I don't care. That's a fine woman.
Yeah. But this is a beautiful thing. Strictly Hydra 9105. Sorry if I screwed that up. The majority of them do believe we're in a democracy. We are in a
we are the constitutional republic. That is correct.
Republic.
100%. Because if we were in a true democracy, we would never have a freaking Republican ever.
No doubt. No doubt.
Scott TX, thanks.
Tox wants the link, but I don't know if Toxic Man Flu means like.
Damn it! I would have gave it to him earlier. I love Toxic. Jump on for a minute, Tox, and tell us what you're all about. Oh, did I just do that? Oh shit! What did I do?
What did you
do? I sent it to him. Tox has to say something.
He posted the link to Twitter. No big deal, you know.
Yeah. Everybody's jumping on. Everybody can jump on. That's fine. No. I gave it to the Tox man.
I want Tuesday to be over. I'm just the whole thing has been just exhausting, you know, just mentally and emotionally. And I'm worried that, you know, if Trump does win, it's going to be just a couple months of just a living nightmare for our side until, you know, he takes office.
Well, I'm just I go back to the first term and all the chaos that was created during that time, all the unnecessary chaos that was done. And we suffered. We, the people, suffered because the politicians and the purse strings were upset. You know, but it has to be done. It has to be done. If I like what Damaj and I said, because honestly, I voted for Clinton in 2016, you know, and Trump got elected. I couldn't believe it. And I watched how the system reacted to the introduction of him in it. And I mean, he definitely wasn't a career politician, so he wasn't saying or doing the things that normal politicians do. But I saw the way that the whole world system reacted to him, and it was like they were all fighting an infection. They were all trying to expel someone from every ring that they could. The smear campaigns, having to fight his own FBI in the first year, all of that. There's got to be something to this. What's up, Tox?
What's up? Scott's older brother, Toxic Man Flu. How are you, my friend?
You're all wrong.
Oh, please.
Oh, wait. I thought I was on one of Comics' channels. Sorry.
What do you feel like?
I'm doing some stuff at home and moving around, and I saw that you were on, decided to pop over, and
I love it.
And it goes, you're not a member anymore. It's like, oh, so I signed back up and all that.
Yeah,
so
YouTube did that.
I drop and say hi, and I mean, you got Damaj and I. Oh yeah, is that one of those? Did you get that that sphere one? Did you make it yourself, or did you? Because they sell them like at the.
Yeah, I have 4 of them. So whenever I have one, I could just rotate.
Yeah. Oh, those are nice. And
those are beautiful.
And
they actually hold ice for a lot longer time too.
Yeah.
But
I just thought I'd come on and say hi.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. I really am, man. It's been a while. So what we've been talking about, and we, you know, you're a big Kamala supporter.
Huge. I created a shirt on comicsdivision.com called Unborn for Kamala.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I figured that they were voting for her.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
if you make the world so bad, the kids don't want to come into it. So they're all in her corner, right? That's how that works.
Oh my God!
So,
Dang!
so they've been doing it so well. So there
I
you
saw
go.
a sign on a dude's lawn that said "pedos for Kamala."
Well, I'm in Chicago and real close to Evanston. So the whole progressive movement started at the University of Wisconsin and Evanston, Illinois. The whole Saul Alinsky, all that kind of stuff and everything from there, right? And progressivism wasn't a liberal thing. It was on both sides. So progressivism, when it started, Teddy Roosevelt was a progressive, Wilson, FDR, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was a move from individuals taking care of themselves to the government taking care of the individuals. And then over time, the left just seized it, what you call the left, because I'm a classic liberal, or whatever, you know.
I'm with you, bro. I'm kind of like that too.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like that, too.
I'm more
I'd be more fiscally
libertarian.
conservative than anything else.
Well, that's what we
Right.
all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, you have to be, you know, to survive. You can't keep printing money like this. But yeah. So I look at what's going on today, and it's just there's Trump signs everywhere here in this part of Illinois now. It used to be I'd go about an hour or so outside of where I live into the cornfields and stuff. The world's largest Donald Trump store, it's just themed on Donald Trump, is an hour and a half west of me here. And you just go and you just cornfield, 500,000 square feet of Donald Trump is what it just signs everywhere and all that. And I'm starting to see it. People's signs are not scared anymore. They're flying the flags. They get the flags in the back of their car. We voted today. And it was out to the library and around and stuff, and we went and did that. And for years, the only choices I had here were Democrats and the Green Party.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see Republicans come back. Before COVID, the head of the Republican Party in Illinois moved to Indiana, said, F this shit, I'm out. Boom, moved over. So we're starting to come back a little, but it was packed. And it was packed with a bunch of people of all walks of life and all shapes, sizes, colors, and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it doesn't matter, you know, if you're going to vote for one side or the other. I wish this many people would show up at the local elections and did that, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got to get better with that. I'll be the first to admit I was a McFly for a long time. I was a slacker, and I really didn't vote.
Well, people don't realize that.
I within the past 10 years, I think I started voting. I mean, so I went like 30 plus years without voting. A lot of that was like on my mom's side because she wasn't really a voter. She's very religious. She's of the mindset that man doesn't need to rule man. God needs to rule man. So that's kind of like how I was. But then listen, I understand that sentiment that she has. But the thing is that right now, men are doing things. So we got to kind of play with the rules that we got. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
we got to kind of play with the rules we got. So that's why I started, getting a little more involved with that. And to be fair, growing up, I grew up with, old school hip hop, like Public Enemy, KRS-One. I never was I was more of a fight the power kind of thing, right? Like your old school metal, right? And it's crazy when you sit back and think about like all of these rock bands out there, especially the mainstream ones, they will quick to back a certain candidate or whatever. Which, by the way, back in the day, that's how I was. I didn't like the Machine, period. I didn't care what side you was on, right? That was another reason why I didn't vote, because I didn't like either party, right? And now you just got it.
You grew up. You realized that. And people need to realize the local elections are the most important.
Yes, that's the one. Like I said, I got to get better with that. And it's real difficult because with your local elections, you'll see your drive. I'm on my motorcycle, I ride bikes, stick a little name there. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like, who's this? Like
There's
John
this thing
Smith
called the
for like
internet.
for treasury or something. Like, who the hell is that? I don't know.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
don't see that
It's
stuff.
like,
Yeah.
So, like I said, I gotta get better with that. But you know, it is what it is.
Well, so growing up in Oklahoma, there was a lot of American Indian, a lot of, and the American Indians owned slaves. So there's a lot of blacks in there. You had Black Wall Street in Tulsa that was burned to the ground through the 1921 race riots that were in Tulsa. And there was a lot of German, Irish immigrants to the land runs and all that kind of stuff. So there was just a huge mix of everything, right? And my great-grandmother was actually forced marched. The Creek Indians were in Mississippi. So what they call the 5 civilized tribes. Creeks were also forced marched in a Trail of Tears of their own from Mississippi to Oklahoma. Okay. So my great-grandmother was a child and went with that with her mom. So when my grandmother was my grandmother's like 2 blocks away. I'd go over and mow her lawn, talk to her, all that stuff. I asked her how come she didn't have us on the rolls. And she tells me, she goes, because every time the government puts your name on a list, people die. And that's when I was like, why? And then she would tell me the stories, and she told me the story about that. And I had a friend whose grandfather raised him. His grandfather had a picture of him opening Auschwitz, the one that Patton's group opened up.
Yep.
So, he showed me pictures of him doing that and going and seeing all those things. And they told us what people do and all of that. So I grew up not wanting to have that happen.
Right.
And realizing that color your skin doesn't matter and all that. It's do you allow people to live their lives until they intrude on you, right?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So, and my grandmother told me, said, you vote everything that you can, and remember it's the local people that will take you down because they're the ones that have power in the area. The federal government has to bring people in. So we defeated somebody here that was trying to build a high-rise apartment building basically in my backyard.
See, that's when it gets important, right, Tox?
Right. And then we actually, our alderman stabbed us in the back, the group that we had, about 600 people. And it was the State Department of Transportation said, you're not putting a stoplight there. And that ended the whole thing. But the alderman, he came up for his election the next year. He lost by about 650 votes, which was us. So he got his payout as a lawyer and then, lost his seat. So it's when it affects you. And that's one of the great things about the system of government we have here in the United States. The states are supposed to be handling the majority of these things. The federal government handles things on a national or international level.
Right.
And then when the states have a squabble, that's when it goes up.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with it there. So it's a beautiful thing, but people have to be engaged.
Yes.
So that's why I like to see people engaged in voting.
It seems like more and more.
It's crazy you mentioned about the high rises. Like I grew up in Brooklyn, right? And you would think, New York City, you think but it's really Manhattan that was really, really with the high rises and stuff like that. Your Twin Towers, now it's not the Twin Towers anymore, but all your high buildings were on the Manhattan side.
Right.
You fast forward to now. Where I grew up was mostly like brownstones and everything, but now there are actually like high rise, like condos, literally just like a freaking eyesore in the middle of like this whole neighborhood that was basically brownstones. And it's just because, that's just how people, I can't vote in New York anymore because I don't live there anymore, but it's just the point. That's the type of stuff that people have to really look at. Like you say, the federal government their job should be keeping our borders safe, making sure our infrastructure is good, and making sure our military is strong. Other than that, I don't want you in my business. I don't want anything. I don't want all our money going to all those foreign places. Where we know why that was going forward is because they wanted to keep the American dollar in circulation. That's why they pay everything out, because that's what the American dollar had so much buying power, which it doesn't now because we lost the oil.
Well, we have no gold. We have, petrodollar.
Yeah,
We're screwed.
we had the petrodollar. So I'm looking for the petrodollar. Yeah, because that was the deal we had. Now we don't have that anymore. So it's just like that's another reason why our dollar is less powerful as it was.
Yeah, I'm sorry I have to wrap this up, guys. Maybe we can do a follow-up.
I'm over here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Next
I
week-
didn't want to keep you up too long.
Well, I'm going to send you guys no matter what. Next week, we'll do a follow-up of what happened, but we probably still won't know who the president is by then.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. But
You're
Damaj
probably right.
and I talks. It's awesome to have you too. Walton, you're here. Tina, always nice to have you. Always nice to have you.
Thank
Walton,
you, darling.
Yes. I let Walton back.
I had the lights on. Sorry.
Good to talk to Damaj and I.
Yeah, good to talk to you, Tox. What night's Dick's Division on the old web?
We're doing Mondays and Thursdays,
Mhm.
9 p.m. Central Time, and then Culture's doing a Sunday night show around 8 p.m. Central. That we're getting together and doing that stuff there. Culture's doing a lot of stuff, and Comics, of course, has FNT.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Comics Division will be on Brombull's channel on Tuesday night for the election, along with Carrie Smith and a whole bunch of other folks.
Yeah. Oops.
I love Carrie. She's a fantastic lady. Carrie is
I love
awesome.
Brahma. I love Brahma.
She's on.
Congratulations.
Coming back from her tour with her husband.
They went out there. They went to the.
Oh, nice.
Now is Monday the political or humor one?
We're not doing the political stuff as much anymore. We're kind of interspersing that kind of stuff, but
Gotcha.
But yeah, we're trying to kind of mix the humor in with that. But
Good.
Yeah. So
Well-
it was just getting to be too much. Like
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything Tuesday myself. I know what's at stake with this, and
Mhm.
it's too much. Now Brahma can handle that and do all those things and stuff from there, but
Yeah.
with the I've got 2 new grandkids. It's 5 total, and the kids getting out and doing all this stuff. It's just been
Congrats.
Congratulations, man.
Oh, I get it, man.
thanks. Yeah.
I don't have grandchildren. I just got the little ones myself.
I got one. He's my well, it's not really my blood, but it's definitely my
All right,
goddaughter.
we'll talk backstage. We'll talk backstage. We're gonna end this.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, everybody,
Later.
for coming out. It's been a lot of fun. We will definitely hope. Oh, whoops! I don't even know what I did there. I really don't. That was weird. I didn't even mean that.
He's not that short.
Thank you.
Love you all. I hope you all have a great night. We will be back.
Hey, I'm the Logan of the group.
Saturday.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Damaj and I said he was shorter than me, Scott.
I don't think he is. I met both of you. He seemed much taller.
I'm broader.
Yeah, that's true. You are
I'm so
better.
glad I got to come on the little fusion stream.
Aluminum Spork. Good night, everybody.